I would really one day like to benefit from familiarity bias. For those of you who are not familiar, familiarity bias is where, by virtue of seeing something familiar, you're more likely to click on it or interact with it. Think the Vlogbrothers, Hank Green and John Green, their faces being the only thing on the icon, on the thumbnail, and you clicking by virtue of that. Or maybe LUDWIG, or if we think about VTubers, Gargura, or Calliope Mori. We even see other creators who are not famous take advantage of familiarity bias, such as Kyo when they use the subject of their video as the draw. And I've used it to a certain degree too. My most popular video on this channel does not feature my face, but it features Calliope Mori's. The second most popular features Jay Aran's, who wrote Epic the Musical. Familiarity bias is very, very potent in the way that we interact with things, because if we're familiar with that thing, or familiar with the context of that thing, we are quicker to believe that it is good. It's very, very hard to get the brain to do new things or enjoy new things. There's this sales term, right? Or there's this sales practice wherein people in call centers are more likely to put up with you because the cost of getting a new client is much higher than keeping you there, even if they give you discounts or excuse a fraudulent charge or whichever. It's more valuable to keep you than it is to start anew. And I feel that somewhat as a creator. I feel that as somebody who makes things, that it's so much harder to get new people than to keep them. Very likely they'll have clicked off if they're not interested in me. And if they have the 5 minutes to listen to me and think about what I say, I think they're likely to stay. But I don't have that yet. I don't have that infrastructure, that brand recognizability that a lot of us want. Really, I think that's the goal of most people who make things anymore, to have Mr. Beast level recognition, to make themselves an integral part of the thumbnail, and by virtue of that, be caught in it, be clickable. And I'm not sure how to foster that within myself. I'm not sure how yet to make that a thing. I'm still working on it, as I am working on a lot of things, but the brain will always trend towards what is familiar. Thinking further on picking by who we know, think about how celebrity casting works in the animation industry. Sure, there are so many new, interesting, inviting pieces of media and content, but we are likely to watch the Trolls movie, or the Emoji movie because we know somebody in there, or Patrick Stewart as Poop, even if we know it's going to be bad. The implication of something familiar in there is enough to make us interested. Maybe it's about changing the habits we have towards content consumption, but I doubt that's happening anytime soon. Familiarity bias is there as a means to protect oneself from wasting their time. When we try something new, and it doesn't work, we feel as though that time is stolen from us. Not that we had wasted it, not that something wrong has happened. This is what I think of when people talk to clickbait videos and being frustrated, or maybe even Rick rolls, even though that's a harmless and cute joke. When we invest ourselves to something new and it does not work out, we feel as though that time has been stolen from us, and it's particularly aversive, particularly painful. And we won't venture out of our bubbles because of that. I think by virtue of me talking to you, I'm appreciative of you because you've gone out of your way to step out into something a little less familiar, out of your immediate 3 content creators and into somebody new. We need more of you out there, adventurous folk. But I don't fault people necessarily for that, for not being adventurous. Heck, I'm not very adventurous myself. I have, at most, 6 people I filter between and enjoy. And I definitely get a wariness when I meet new people. That includes chat, that includes commenters. When I see new people and the vibe isn't there, I get on guard. I try to be friendly, I try to keep up a friendly face, but I get on guard immediately. Because it's different talking to somebody and taking smack from somebody who's been in your stream for like 2 or 3 weeks. And getting smack from the get. You can't really read the person, their intentions, what they're bringing. Familiarity bias is a safeguard from disappointment, from pain. It is an optimization of our interests. And it is ultimately what the algorithm attempts to do for you. Have you ever opened up a fresh YouTube in a guest profile? I would recommend doing so right now. Do this experiment with me, please. You open that up, and immediately you see SSS Sniper Wolf. Let me open up right now, 1 second. Actually, nowadays, YouTube recommends you to try searching to get started. And you can search by trending, which will give you a big smattering of things. Technoblade is currently trending. Drew Gooden, Mr. Beast, UFC, Crunchyroll, Tommy Innit. People that maybe you have never seen your own recommended. And as you search, YouTube finds people who are kind of like who you like, but just slightly adjacent, slightly different, seeing if they can pull you in to whatever circle or bubble, or make a bubble for you. The algorithm is just the weaponized use of familiarity bias. Sometimes I want to start over, you know? I want to see what YouTube would make for me if I had just cleared my search history and started poking around again. Especially when I'm up to here, up to my neck in Sigma Walking Dead shorts. And I'd like to be there. I'd like to be in those spots where you could find me. But that's for a long time. And something I'll be working on. Ding ding ding, 10 minutes.